No matter how much we yearn for peace, it seems to be elusive. These days, more than ever. In one of his Beatitudes, Jesus speaks about peacemakers, calling them children of God. So let's join a conversation with our Good News team, Lynn Shimatek, Lauren Welch, and John Shimatek.
Blessed are the peacemakers. They shall be called the children of God. What is a peacemaker?
The first thing that came to mind for me today actually it's more in the political arena and people that are trying to resolve issues between nations diplomatically rather than by violence. Not everyone's called to be a diplomat, the kind that will broker a peace agreement between warring factions. That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
What about you, Lauren?
The first thing I think about when I think of peacemakers are people who are bridge builders. They help connect people, even in families. They help build bridges between people who are struggling with an issue, with an illness, with how to deal with a parent.
As you said that, made me think, Lauren, about all the different levels in personal relationships that need peace. It is work to be a peacemaker. We could start a very intimate, personal space by talking about being a peacemaker within your own self. I don't think I've ever thought of that before until you raised that just now for me, thinking about being in families. I was thinking of peacemakers as being on a bigger scale, but it isn't. You've often said we need to love ourselves first. It does start at the individual heart and soul level. So I think there is a peacemaker role for internal peace. I'm not sure exactly how that works.
I think the word work is instrumental because peacemaking takes a lot of work to find peace within yourself or to help others. The work that has to be done is getting our agenda out of the way so we can see more of what's to become peaceful myself. I have to be still and listening to people around me, listening to hopefully the divine. It takes a lot of work to be peaceful. It's not something that comes easy. It certainly doesn't come easy for me. I'll speak for myself.
I think that most of us find it very hard to be at peace with ourselves. It's very tumultuous times. We're all very busy. To become at peace means that you need time to reflect, stop, and really tune yourself with God. To become a child of God. And that's hard. That's very hard to do. I didn't even think about that, to be at peace yourself before you can become a peacemaker.
Maybe that's why the last half of that beatitude is for they will be called children of God. Children are naturally peaceful until they learn what's mine and what's yours. And but as Jesus said, you need to become childlike. He didn't say childish. He said childlike, which is thinking the best of others, trusting, believing in others, in yourself. John, when you said, how do we become peaceful within? I think we have to trust ourselves. We have to believe in ourselves. As Lynn says, know the divine within us. When we put all of that together, I think we're peaceful. Children have that naturally.
Yeah, that's a great perspective. I think one of the things that strikes me about this is when it says, they shall be called children of God. And I love that because I think it's really showing that they shall be called a child of God. But children of God emphasizes this siblingship that we have with all of humanity. If we are working to be peaceful within ourselves, working to establish peace beyond ourselves within family members where there's discord. Gosh, we have not hard to think of examples of disagreement, discord. What's the most common word we heard in 2024? Probably polarization. It's a fact of our lives these days in our society, in our world. There's plenty of work to be done. Key tasks of carrying out the blueprint of the Christian life is to be a peacemaker. Think of how wonderful life would be if everyone truly saw the other person as a child of God. It would be heaven on earth. Yeah, to me, that's what it would be. It takes a lot of work to be a peacemaker. Lauren, you talk about this inner sense that you can achieve through listening, praying, being open to God's working within you. Are there other aspects of being a peacemaker that are helpful to think about?
One of the things I think is that the Beatitudes certainly are different. They are provocative, but they all come back to the major thing, to treat your neighbor as yourself, or as you would like to be treated. If you are at peace with yourself, people will like to be with you because you're peaceful, gentle, you're in tune with things. You'll listen to them. I would ask that the people watching or listening to us try to figure out how to become more peaceful in their heart, or whatever part of their body needs to be peaceful. See if they can actually take that and go to someone else. See if they can give them the ability to be peaceful within themselves. It starts from one little seed and keeps going. We could change society, really. I saw an interesting article at the New York Times about a man who has been writing for the op-ed for 25 years. This was his last article. And he said he thought the whole fabric of the American public has been so changed in those 25 years. Before, we were optimistic. We thought that if you worked hard and did your due diligence, you could lift yourself up into a good life. And he said now everyone is so sure that everyone is out to get them. I thought that's probably true. And I think that if we all become peacemakers, wouldn't that be wonderful?
Yeah, I think that example, if it is true, underlines the need for the Christian life to bring hope to the world. We've been talking about this, Lena, you were saying peace is almost something contagious. I was thinking about, almost in a liturgical way, how we have services at different times of year that involve candle lighting and passing a candle from one person. It starts out to be a very dark place, but then eventually the whole place is flooded with light from all these little candles. A candle in itself doesn't do much, but a room full of candles is amazing. I think peace being a gift that we can give to others, that's good news to me. Thanks for being with us today. We've got one more Beatitudes to go. It's a tough one. Stay tuned.
Lauren is up to it.
Until next time.
Take care.